right now, this minute, listening to this, you're training something. I know how that sounds, like the opening of a gym ad. Stay with me because I mean something quieter and much bigger. There's no such thing as not training. Every hour you're awake, you are running repetitions of something. Attention, worry, patience, the scroll. The comeback you keep rehearsing for an argument that ended years ago. The reps happen whether or not you choose them. Nobody gets to ask, am I practicing? The only question anyone gets to answer is, what? Now, I'm not gonna sell you the montage version. 30 days to a new you. One weird habit. Discipline as a personality. I've come to believe that people really can change. I've watched it happen, and I've felt it happen. And that it's slower and stranger than anyone selling it will admit. And here's the part that matters most. Most people who try quit at the exact moment it was working. I want to show you why. By the end of this, you'll know why understanding something is never enough to keep it. Why pressure embarrasses your best intentions. And where change actually lives. And you can test all of it against your own life. The only test I trust. You don't have to believe anything I believe. You've done this. I'd bet the house on it. Before a hard conversation, you decided exactly who you were going to be. Calm, measured. You even rehearsed a line or two. You walked in as that person. And then the moment comes. A voice rises. Theirs, then yours. And 30 seconds in, the person you decided to be is nowhere in that room. Someone older showed up instead. The one who always shows up. People say pressure reveals character. I'd put it more precisely. Pressure doesn't break your new skill. It reveals which skill is actually yours. When things are easy, you can run almost anything deliberately. The patience, the calm, the new way of thinking you just read about. But deliberate is expensive. Under load, deliberate collapses. And you fall to whatever is mostly deeply worn in you, your baseline. Not the self you admire, the self you've practiced. So the real question of this whole video is, how does a skill get down there, into the baseline? How does something you have to try at become something you simply are? Here's the picture. A piece of cloth and a vat of dye. Dip the cloth once, it comes out colored, and most of it rinses away. Dip it again and again. For a long time, every single dip looks like it changed nothing. But somewhere around the 10,000th dip, something changes category. The color stops being on the cloth and becomes the cloth. You can't wash it out anymore. You can't even point to the thread that holds it. That's what practice does to a person. Every repetition is a dip. And you are, right now, today, some color you've been dipping yourself in for years. Every idea that enters your life passes through 3 states. Knowing which state you're in may spare you the worst false conclusion in all of self-improvement. So watch closely. The first state is borrowed. You heard it. You can repeat it. It sounds true in your mouth. But it came to you the way a coat gets handed to you. You're wearing it. You didn't weave it. Most of what most of us know lives here. It costs nothing. And under pressure, it's worth exactly what it cost. The second state is held. You've examined the idea. You really examined it, and it survived. And now it's yours. You can run it, deliberately, when it's easy, when you're rested, when nothing's at stake, when you remember to. This is real progress, and it's the most dangerous mile of the whole road. Because held feels like arrival. You think you're done, then pressure comes. The skill collapses back to baseline, and you draw the conclusion that quietly ends most people's change. It didn't work. I can't change. I'm just like this. No, you were mid-die, and you stopped counting dips. Held isn't failure. Held is the middle, and the middle is exactly where it's supposed to wobble. A skill that only works on calm days isn't a broken skill. It's a young one. The third state is become. The idea runs as you. No deliberation, no effort, no remembering. Under pressure, at your worst, tired and provoked, and it still holds. Because it isn't a thing you do anymore. The color is the cloth. That's the state people are pointing at when they say someone just is, patient or honest or calm. Nobody just is. You're watching the 10,000th dip, not the first. And the middle has one more cruel property you need to know about, because it's where the quitting happens. The reps accumulate underground, like roots. A gardener knows this. The growth happens out of sight long before anything shows above the soil. Absence of visible change is not absence of change. Most people quit one season early, standing on ground that was almost ready. Now the part I refuse to skip, because without it, everything I've said so far is dangerous. Repetition is amoral. The die does not ask what color it is. Practice will perfect a flaw as faithfully as a virtue. Rehearse resentment 10,000 times. The 2 a.m. replies, the case you keep building against someone, and you become resentful by exactly the same law that could have made you patient. The loop doesn't check what you feed it, it just amplifies. You are building yourself in the quiet direction of your repetitions either way. That's why there's no such thing as not training isn't a motivational line, it's a warning. Which is why the examination comes first. Before you groove anything, you put it through the gauntlet. Attack the idea from every angle, look for where it breaks. And only what survives earns the right to become automatic. The grooves you inherited, the hand-me-down ones, are dangerous precisely because they skip that gauntlet. They were installed by repetition without ever facing examination. Don't repeat their mistake in your own name. And here's the objection. I can hear it because I've asked it. Wait. You've spent whole videos telling me to examine everything, stay awake, question my own thoughts. Now you want me on autopilot? Fair, and the answer is a sequence, not a contradiction. Examine first, then groove what survives. They're not rivals, they're stations on the same line, but hold 2 guards and hold them hard. 1. Automate the skill, never the exemption. The moment a conclusion of yours goes immune to questioning, that isn't mastery. That's dogma wearing mastery clothes. Everything you've grooved keeps its review hook. New evidence can still reopen the case. What runs automatically is the skill, not its immunity. 2, and this is the part that reframes everything. Automaticity isn't the death of awareness. It's what funds it. Think of a veteran driver. Her hands drive the car themselves, which is exactly why her eyes are free to catch the kid chasing a ball into the road. You don't groove a skill to go to sleep. You groove it so you can become more awake, somewhere that matters more. So how do you actually move a skill from held to become? A few roads, genuinely different ones, and none of them mine to assign you. The first road is the calm day rep. Practice the chosen response when nothing is at stake. 1 low-stakes moment a day, small irritation, a minor choice, where you run the new skill deliberately, on purpose, while it's easy. That's where the dips actually happen. The hard moment isn't practice, it's the exam. The honest trade-off, it will feel pointless, precisely because nothing's at stake. That's the middle's invisibility working on you. And you'll be tempted to skip it. The dip that feels like nothing is still a dip. The second road. Groove the pause, not the script. You can't rehearse every situation. Life writes too many. So instead of practicing 1,000 responses, practice the gap. Notice, breathe, choose. Train the half second in which every other choice becomes possible. This is what that practice of sitting quietly actually builds. You've heard me say it. The wandering isn't the failure. The bringing it back is the rep. The trade-off? It's the slowest road to show anything, and the most portable once it holds, because it works in situations you've never rehearsed. The third road. Add weight on purpose. A muscle only becomes reliable under load it has met before. So let small pressure test the skill before life brings big ones. Say the honest sentence in a low-stakes room. Hold the calm in a minor dispute before you need it in a major one. The trade-off, and I'll say it plainly, misused, this is just self-harm with a syllabus. The load must be chosen, sized, and honest. This is training, not punishment. Which road is yours? Maybe one. Maybe a braid of all three. Maybe a fourth I haven't thought of. I mean that. I'm handing you a shovel, not a conclusion. One more door, and I'll only crack it. A swordsman 4 centuries ago, Musashi, wrote of a place past all of this, past technique itself. He called it the void, where the trained thing and the one doing it stop being two things at all. Whether that's the watcher perfected or the watcher finally dissolved, I honestly don't know. I won't pretend to either. That one's for another night, much further down this road. So here's the practice. Insultingly small, as usual. Pick one thing, one response, one quality that you've examined and decided deserves to be yours. Not 5, 1. Then, today, one calm day dip, one deliberate run of it, while it's easy. That's all. Tomorrow, another. And don't count results, count dips. Results live underground for a long time. That's the design, not a defect. When the skill wobbles under pressure next week, remember what that means. Not the verdict, the middle. You're gonna run 10,000 repetitions of something this year, whether or not you choose them. The loop doesn't pause while you decide. The die doesn't wait. So, the question, and you might recognize it, it's the mirror's question, wearing work clothes. What are you building? Because you're building it right now.